Dr. King, would you mind if almost 80 years after your arrival on this planet, we could celebrate you? Dr. King, would you mind if we take a day or vacation to consider your suggestions and thoughts? Dr. King, would you mind if we remembered your friend Rosa in a rap song composed by a few of your Atlanta brothers today? Dr. King, would you mind if little Stevie made a ditty about your special day? Dr. King, would you mind if we set up barriers to bar immigrants from coming to live your dream? Dr. King, would you mind if Oprah built a school for girls in Africa? Dr. King, would you mind if we had at the beginning of the millennium an election that was stolen? Dr. King, would you mind if we tried to pursue a few evildoers? Dr. King, would you mind if we started another war like the one you spoke out against over 40 years ago? Dr. King, would you mind if we tortured a few captives and put the pics on MySpace? Dr. King, would you mind if we left thousands of people stranded in the birthplace of jazz with no water, no food, and no hope for a few days? Dr. King, would you mind if we referred to ourselves as, well, I'll give you the letters here, N's, B's, and pimps, and even an H in a few songs for a few dollars? Dr. King, would you mind if we imprisoned 6 young men from a little town in Louisiana called Gina for standing up for themselves the best way they knew how? Dr. King, would you mind if Walmart and Macy's held some sales on your birthday? Dr. King, would you mind if we let a few people sleep in the cold under tall, shining skyscrapers? Dr. King, would you mind if my students laughed nervously while watching videos of water hoses and snarling dogs let loose on a few peaceful demonstrators? Dr. King, would you mind if we suggested lynching in a back alley the first African American to win the Masters? Dr. King, would you mind if Hallie, Denzel, and Jamie got an Oscar or two? Dr. King, would you mind passing several of these questions to your homies up there? You know them, JC, Big G, and of course the X-Men. Also, Dr. King, would you mind if possibly the first email to the president says that Lyndon Johnson was responsible for all those civil rights acts being passed? Okay, I think this is the last one. Dr. King, would you mind if we have an election 40 years after your death where an African American could actually, did become president of the United States? You know, don't laugh or cry. Jesse and a few others did that already. But would you mind if I continue on about these little issues? Of course you would. You're still busy, even from your rightful place in heaven, the universe, encouraging us to keep fighting to make the dream everyone's reality.